Good morning, Drink Less, Feel Fresh family. Tommy Cartwright here, ready, eager, and very excited to rock out with you for this week's Feel Fresh and Free Masterclass. If you're watching this live, jump straight into the chat panel, say hello. If you have any questions throughout the call, say hello, or sorry, comment them in the chat panel, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you're listening to this recording at a later date, whether you're listening to it on Spotify or you're watching the video on YouTube, hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a topic that is hot on the fingertips, so to speak, at this time of year, which is how do I set myself up for a good year? How do I crush my alcohol reduction goals? You know, it's at the time of this recording, it's the 8th of January, 2024. And a lot of people are coming out of the overindulging festive season kind of vibe. Maybe a little bit too much beverages, maybe a little bit too much food. You know, that classic traditional approach of a 2 to 3 week period over the festive season where we drink and eat as much as we like. It's great fun. Everybody enjoys it. A lot of people enjoy it, but it's generally around, it's not the 1st of January. It's generally around the 5th, the 6th, the 8th, sometimes even the 15th for people that really push it out. They start to come back to reality, start to come back to realizing, shit, now a new year's starting. Shit, I haven't created the change I wanted yet, and it's 8 or 15 days in. Now, when it comes to drinking less and feeling fresh, when it comes to crushing your alcohol reduction goals, I even said it in that sentence, goals. Today, we're diving into why goals suck and what to do about that. Now, the reason why I'm laughing is I ran a masterclass for our Detox Challenge members and our Rebuild members, which is one of our signature 12-month alcohol reduction programs. I was running a masterclass last week, and we dove into what you can do about goal setting and an approach that's going to be more beneficial for you. And people either love goals or they hate them. So it's often a bit of a triggering conversation because a lot of us get told to live by goals. And see, when it comes to changing your relationship with alcohol, it's really important to have your goals, but it can also be really limiting. So today we're going to unpack where goals let people down. And I'm going to offer you a unique and alternative approach that if you can apply it today, I think over the 2024 period, the chances that not only your alcohol reduction goals fall into place, but even just the quality of your life in many areas will start to skyrocket. And so the best way that we want to look at this is by understanding that, I'm going to do it. I'm going to let loose. Okay, here we go. Buckle up. Buckle up. Fun fact. Most people set goals to emotionally manipulate themselves out of a truthful experience. What that means is goal setting has become such a fad, and anybody that sets goals and doesn't stick to them or doesn't achieve them is setting goals to emotionally manipulate themselves out of a current state. I'll give you an example. People wake up Monday feeling dusty, hungover, not wanting to go to work. Then they set the goal of, damn, I'm not drinking again this week, or I'm not going to drink till Friday. And what happens is you're manipulating yourself out of the fact that you're not happy with your relationship with alcohol. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be looked at, and some serious strategies or support needs to be brought in to help you start managing it. So often goal setting is just a way that we manipulate ourselves out of that hard, harsh, truthful experience. We make ourselves feel better. Yay, I feel a little bit better because I've just made the decision I'm not going to do this again. And so it's just emotional manipulation. It's almost like speaking to a narcissist. You'll share something with a narcissist and they'll suppress that, or they'll say something that you don't like. They'll try to put it in a box. And that's what a lot of people that set goals do to themselves time and time and time again. So if you're doing this in your goal setting, you're not only sabotaging your alcohol reduction goals, but you're also directly going to be interrupting and causing a lot of pain to your self-esteem and what's called healthy ego development. Healthy ego development is the term given to you creating a strong relationship with your ego, which is really important, right? You're creating a strong relationship with your ego. So when you consistently lie to yourself, when you consistently set goals, now you wouldn't be doing this intentionally, but you'll know straight away if you're nodding your head up and down going, shit, I do this a lot. You're just emotionally manipulating yourself, which creates more distrust in the body and makes it harder and harder for you to follow through with things as time goes on. So you start to become someone who says they're going to do something and they don't follow through with it, especially when it comes to alcohol reduction journey. So this time of year is a bit of an interesting one because a lot of people like to set New Year's Eve resolutions, and they set New Year's Eve resolutions in the realm of goals. Like my New Year's Eve resolution is to not drink this year. My New Year's Eve resolution is to lose 6 kilos. They're very goal specific, which means they have a time base that something's going to happen. I have a New Year's Eve resolution that I'm going to save $20,000, whatever it might be. And it's a very specific goal. Now, please, if you're listening to this and you think, well, Tom, look, I set goals, excuse me. Excuse me. If you're listening to this and you think, well, Tom, I set goals and I crush them and I follow through with them. Well, guess what? This isn't going to apply to you. But if you set goals around changing your relationship with alcohol and you continue to break those promises to yourselves, then this is very applicable to you. Okay, really, really important, to be honest. Now, you might be thinking, well, what else do we do? Well, here's the thing. First of all, we really need to address what goals actually do and how people are often using goals to manipulate themselves. From having that insight, you can then ask, well, what's the alternate approach? Now, if it's okay, I'm just going to share some vulnerable examples for you of my own journey and how I approached it. I had some of our private rebuild members, as I said earlier, ask me this question last week, which is what really worked well for you. Now, to be really honest with you, I'm not a big goal setter. I never have been. It's never aligned with me. When I set rigid goals, I often then feel a bit of restriction. I have a bit of a, it's been within me for a long time. It's showed up in really healthy ways and showed up in dysfunctional ways, but I have a bit of a rebellious behavior. I have a bit of a rebellious streak and pattern in me. I rebelled against the traditional schooling education system. I didn't like to be put in a box. I rebelled in regards to the alcohol and the gambling scene, rebellious behavior. Created a lot of dysfunction in my life, yet also created a lot of success. For example, I rebelled against being told what I should do after school. I rebelled against the standardized approach to going to work for someone else, and I started my own business. I rebel against wanting to live what's called a normal life in Australia with a certain education level and treating my body a certain way. So I rebel against that and I demand more from myself, which is a bit of a rebellious behavior. So rebellious behavior isn't good or bad. The reason why I'm sharing that with you is that traditional goal settings just never aligned with me. And for years, specialists told me I needed to get better at goal setting. And here's the thing. No, you don't. Everybody has a unique blueprint within them on how to achieve the things that they want in life. And if you're trying to do it a way that's not working, it'll feel like you're up, what's the term? You're up shit creek without a paddle. It'll feel like you're just letting yourself down. It'll feel like you're just beating yourself up. You'll feel like a failure or a fuck up, someone that can't stick to the promises they make. And it'll just cause you massive amount of uncertainty and pain in regards to, as I said earlier, your self-esteem. So goal setting is not for everyone. And if you want to know if it's for you or not, well, if you set goals and you crush them, great. And if you set goals and you continue to break them, well, they're probably not for you at this point of time. Now, take that with a grain of salt. Some specialists would say, oh, but you need to get better at goal setting. I get that. I can have another conversation, another podcast episode about how to get better at goal setting. That's not the purpose of today's call. Today's call is to understand how to set yourself up for the best year ever when it comes to drinking less, feeling fresh, living with more choice and freedom. And it's not by setting goal setting for the 2024 period. All right, so if that resonates with you and you're really liking it, and you're understanding kind of some insights there about goal setting and why it can let us down and how we're using it, you might be thinking, well, what's next? Well, what really worked well for me was what's called theme setting. Okay. Goal setting is to take a very specific action outcome that is inside your control and influence, set a date that's going to be achieved by, and have a certain amount of measuring characteristics that you can measure to see if it's come to fruition for you. Theme setting is about taking a theme and a subtopic of your life and making it a theme. You might be thinking they sound like the same thing. Well, here's the difference. Goal setting can be really rigid and strict. It can give you something to focus on. And at the end of the day, if you complete the goal, you win. And if you don't, you fail. Now, that's really detrimental to people in the alcohol reduction industry that are trying to change their relationship with alcohol. Because if you set yourself a goal to not drink, or to never drink more than 2 drinks, or to not drink Monday to Friday, but you're allowed to drink Saturday and Sunday, if you set yourself these really specific goals, that's great if they work for you. But if they don't work for you, I tell you right now, you're going to break the promises you make to yourself. You're going to feel restricted. You're going to feel like a fuck up. And that is the number one reason why you'll end up drinking more anyway. The difference between that or this and a theme is a theme gives you endless possibilities to work on yourself, regardless of if the specific goal comes to fruition or not. I'll give you an example, and if it's okay, I'm going to share my own 10-year, kind of a bit of a recap of my 10-year journey and how themes completely changed my life. So for those of you that do or don't know, back in 2013, this is 11 years ago now, back in 2013, I was drinking to excess 5 to 7 nights every night, drinking until I couldn't stop, or pretty much had to stop. I was gambling most nights. So severely drinking and gambling problems. That shows up as relationship dysfunction. That shows up with breaking promises to yourself. That shows up with not being able to show up. That shows up with not wanting to go to work. That shows up with going with a hangover to a lot of things, etc., etc. The list goes on. And so in 2013, I made a decision that I was going to start changing my life. Now, I signed up. I'm kind of skipping a few things here, but they're not necessary for today's call. I signed up to work with a coaching college in Melbourne because they told me that I could learn about myself and learn to break dysfunctional behaviors and learn to live with more authenticity and stick to the promises that I made myself. So I took a loan because I was in heavy debt then to the bank due to gambling. I took a loan and I paid for this. At the time, was a very expensive course for me because I was all in and I wanted to give it a real crack. Now, in 2014, I started that course and I set myself a theme. In 2014, with the help of some specialists, I set myself a theme to get out of my own way and overcome fear. Okay. And the theme was just get out of your own way. It wasn't Tom, stop gambling today. It wasn't Tom, stop drinking today. It was just get out of your own way. Start to become uncomfortable, Tommy. Start to get back into life. Don't let fear direct who you are. And so I spent 6 to 12 months studying, educating, learning about ego development, emotional maturity, spirituality, energy mechanics, hypnotherapy, behavioral profiling tools. I went hard and fast into the realm of personal development so I could learn to be the best version of myself. And most importantly, just get out of my own way. Stop playing life so fucking small. And so over that year, I really felt that I experienced that to a large degree. I was doing more things. I was signing up for different things. Over that year, I went through 6 different jobs, which I'd never done before because I stayed in the hospitality career for 8 years, even though I wasn't liking it. So I started to do things in life. I started to get out there. I stopped playing small. Before I knew it, 2015 came around. And in 2015, I thought to myself, you know what? This is the year. I'm overcoming addiction, right? I'm overcoming addiction. Now, that again wasn't a specific goal of I'm not going to drink again, I'm not going to gamble again. It was I'm overcoming addiction. And what happened during that year by just having that as a theme in August 2015, I woke up one morning and I just thought to myself, I'm going to do 5 months sober, no drinking, no gambling, no drugs. Just woke up, it just came to fruition, right? That just happened. It came. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to sit there on January 1st of 2015 and say, this year I'm going to never, do 5 months sober and do this. It just came to fruition based off the fact that I had this theme. And so in 2015, for the first time ever, after years of struggling to ever be able to say no to a beverage, I did a 5-month detox. Okay. I detoxed, what was that, from August right through to Christmas Eve, December. So it was just over 5 months. And whilst it was difficult, it was also kind of easy. All the years that I thought it was really hard to do things, it was actually kind of easy because of the year of prep that I did. So the first year of theme of getting over myself dramatically helped me in the theme of getting over addiction. And so I crushed a 5-month sobriety stint, felt better than ever. And for the first time in my life, I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to be unstoppable. If I can do a 5-month detox and no drinking, no gambling, no drugs, if I could do that for 5 months, I could do anything. And so I accomplished that. And I remember sitting at the Clovelly Hotel with my beautiful father. And we sat there and he said, well, I can't believe you've done it. I'm so proud of you, et cetera, et cetera. And what I love about it is we shared a cold beer. Carlton Draft was my beverage back then. And we shared a cold beer to celebrate. And we shared a cold beer because I've always come from the mentality that restriction is not the answer, but freedom is. And in that moment, I really wanted to celebrate how far I'd come with a cold beer and prove to myself that I can have a cold beer and I'm not going to fall back into debilitating behaviors. Funnily enough, I had a beer. I might have had 2 and then I stopped. And my relationship with alcohol has never been the same. And I love that because I've never lived a life of never drink again. And it's not been our approach at Drink Less Feel Fresh. I don't think it's suitable for a lot of people. So 2 years in a row, I had this theme happening for me. And I realized, wow, this really works for me. Now, 2016 came along and I thought to myself, well, what's my theme going to be? Because this really works well for me. And my theme was relationships. I thought to myself, this year, I'll just love to learn how to create great relationships in my life. I learned to get over myself. I've learned to overcome addiction. And now I want to start taking that into the world and building great relationships. So I just focused the year on harnessing, cultivating, and building beautiful relationships in my life. And guess what? I turned what was a really rocky, rough relationship with my girlfriend at the time into one of the most beautiful, flourishing relationships, to the extent that I ended up proposing. And we are now 7 years later, 6 years later, we're now very happily married with two beautiful girls and a beautiful son on the way, very close to arriving. And the relationship has never been better since 2016. It's just gotten better and better and better. Now, as I'm sharing this with you, please be aware the difference with goal setting and theme setting is theme setting gives you unlimited potential to learn and grow as you develop. If I set a goal in 2015 to just not drink for 5 months, I just had to focus on that. But because I set myself the intention and the theme of overcoming addiction, I got to look into so many things. I got to look into addictive behavior, which it just takes up so much of people's lives. Now, theme setting, it gives you a chance to work on yourself regardless of if your goals come to fruition or not. Does that make sense? And one of the things in the traditional alcohol reduction industry is people set goals to the extent that they have to achieve them. For example, I'm not going to drink for 24 hours. And they focus so much intention and energy on not drinking for 24 hours that they have no energy to look after anything else. I know people that are focused so much on not drinking that they don't even have time to work on themselves, work on psychological development, ego development, emotional maturity, letting go of the past, focus on the future, building a great business for themselves, getting back into the gym, etc., etc. And so that's the difference between goal setting and theme setting. Now, it didn't stop there. In 2017, I set myself the theme to focus on and build a great business. And my theme was business growth, which was fantastic. Now I've been and I built a phenomenal business, worked for myself, ended up moving up to a town called beautiful Port Macquarie, where I live now. Our first beautiful daughter came along in 2019. The year after that, I was working 2.5 days a week, spending a lot of time with her, and it was just beautiful. And so themes have always trumped goals for me. Now you might notice a couple of patterns here. A theme gives you unlimited potential to work on a certain category on topic in your life, regardless of if your specific goals are being met. And that's the ticket. Some people get so stuck in their goals being met that they're beating themselves up that they're not reaching it. And they're missing out on so many beautiful opportunities for other areas of growth in that certain theme to come to fruition. I'll give you an example. Fast forward from 2017 to 2020, excuse me, 3, which was last year, I set myself the theme of health, which meant physical health. For a long time, I neglected the topic of physical health for me due to many reasons. A couple were I spent a lot of time focusing on psychological health and development. I spent a lot of time focusing on emotional maturity and emotionally letting go development. I spent a lot of time on the theme of spirituality development, and I just neglected physical health, which meant for me, it looked like I didn't go to the gym. I was busy with my children, of course, but I was never consciously working on physical health. I wasn't going for walks, jogs, runs. I wasn't swimming. I was no longer playing sport, etc., etc. So I really wanted to focus on physical health. Now, in the beginning of 2023, I kind of had this goal that I wanted to lose some weight and get back into the gym. That was my goal. Funnily enough, because my theme was health, I ended up speaking with a gut specialist, a naturopath. And although I didn't know it I should just say before I knew it, she told me that I had to stop drinking coffee. I was drinking 2 to 3 coffees a day, which is a big problem for me. So whilst my goal was to lose weight, because I had a theme of health, I had endless potential. So I didn't start working on my weight straight away. I started working with my naturopath straight away. I got off coffee, which is, to be honest, for me, even harder than it was harder than getting off alcohol and gambling, which was funny and interesting. I got off caffeine. It was something that I wanted to do for a long time. I just thought it was going to take a lot longer. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you is it's been about 9 months since I've been in the theme of health. I have ended up losing probably 5 to 10 kilos. I'm stronger than ever before. My gut health is at an all-time high. I haven't been sick in the last 9 months, even though the 12 months prior to 9 months, I had 3 COVIDs, 4 gastro bugs, pneumonia. I was getting sick quite a lot physically. Um, and so the theme of health has taken me so far, so much further than a specific goal of I'm going to lose 5 kilos or I'm going to stop drinking coffee. Because I've had a theme of health, I've looked after coffee, sugar detox. Sugar's almost eradicated from my diet these days to about 80% when I say eradicated. I've lost the weight that I've wanted to lose. And I'm going to the gym and I'm constantly getting better. And I'm currently looking at potentially getting back into a sport. And so again, goals suck when you use them to emotionally manipulate yourself out of a certain painful experience. Like, I don't like the way that I look, so I'm going to set a weight goal. I don't like the way that I look, so I'm going to save up to get Botox. Like, it's a specific example. I don't like my financial situation. I'm going to save 5 grand. I don't like that I drank too much. I'm not going to drink again. We set ourselves up to emotionally manipulate ourselves, and it feels crap. But if you grab a theme in your life, the sky literally is the limit. It opens you up. You have more flexibility. You may have more options. There's so many things that you can do. So, for example, some themes that you might want to sit with are the theme of getting over yourself. Getting over yourself. If someone's not aware of that theme, they might just set themselves the goal of, I'm going to learn to public speak, which is great. But if you set yourself the theme of get over yourself, you might learn in that year how to public speak. You might read the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers, great book. You might set up your own networking event. You might start your business. You might go back to the gym, even though you feel inadequate to be in the gym because you don't know what you're doing. You might reach out to specialists to learn about how to get over yourself. And so the sky's the bloody limit. You can grow so much more in a theme. You might set yourself the theme of relationships, which is a beautiful theme that everyone should set it for at least a 12 months period. Focus on relationships instead of the goal of I'm going to get a partner, or I'm going to leave my partner, or I'm going to live 12 months without a partner. Like these short term, or I'm going to get back into dating. Like, set yourself the theme of relationships to cultivate beautiful relationships. Guess what? You can cultivate relationships with your family members. You can leave certain relationships behind. You can get into new relationships. You can realize that it was never really about personal relationships. It was about business relationships and connecting more deeply with people in the work environment. You might realize it's not that. And you might join a sport team and realize, wow, I thought I needed relationships. I just feel great. You might join a soccer club and realize this is fantastic. You might get back in a bridge or card playing. Cultivating relationships is such an incredible theme to set. And here's something that I haven't shared with you so far. When you set your theme, if you set it for a 12-month window, you're setting something that's actually really appropriate and applicable. We live in a world where we want short-term, sharp gratification. We want things done in a 24-hour window or a 7-day period or maximum 30 days. But when it comes to cultivating a beautiful life for yourself, and we're so much deeper now than talking about alcohol reduction, but when it comes to cultivating a beautiful life for yourself, a 12-month window is so much more achievable and appropriate. There's a great quote that says, like, people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in 10. And the same applies with goal setting and themes. People overestimate what they can achieve in 30 days and underestimate what they can achieve in 12 months. You can achieve so much within 12 months. But if you set yourself these small, minute little goals, you'll either achieve them and then wonder what to do, or you'll just spend the whole 12 months trying to achieve them. Because that's generally how the brain works. It experiences what you set it out to experience. Isn't that interesting? Like, I find that fascinating. And another theme that you might set for yourself that I spoke about already is health. People set themselves these small, minute goals. And I'm not bagging goal setting. I'm just saying they suck in regards to what you can be accomplishing and achieving. So you can set yourself the goal of health. You might think, yeah, you want to lose some weight, or you wish you looked a bit better. Or, mine was back when I was setting the theme of health. I just wanted to have more energy for the kids as well. I just really wanted to be able to run a little bit further with my kids without being puffed. You might have these small, beautiful goals like I've had, but when you set yourself the theme of what the goal comes into, health, finances, hobbies, interests, being more courageous, overcoming addictions. Like when you set yourself these themes, another great theme is living in honesty. Like you set yourself the theme to be honest with yourself in 12 months. What do you think you'd experience? We had a member of our rebuild program ask me the other day, they said, Tom, um, I want to start building my business. And that's my goal. And I said, that shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be your theme should be to be honest with yourself over 2024. And she said, why do you say that? And I said, well, if you're really honest with yourself and you really, really get honest and act off integrity and honesty, what do you think would have happened? And she started laughing. She's like, oh, that's funny. I know. I'd probably start my business. I'd probably stop drinking as much as I am. I'd probably focus on my health. And she just started saying all these things. And I said, there we go. How do you feel? And she said, well, I feel free now. I've got options. I've got potential, which is the exact symptom and benefit of setting themes. You have options. You have potential. There's so many areas you can grow. And I want to leave you with this, team, is letting you know, and it's how we do things at Drink Less, Feel Fresh. Your goals are important and they matter, but they don't define who you are. If you define who you are based off you making, you start your business this year, or you define who you are based off you stop drinking, or you define who you are based off, you save $20,000, or you define yourself based off you lost your 5 kilos. It's so limiting and depleting. You got to open yourself up for opportunity and potential. And you can't do that through goal setting. Goal setting is so rigid and regimented. It's about one thing and making sure it happens. Again, great conversation for a different day, but not this conversation, not setting yourself up for an incredible 2024. Theme setting will take you all the way home. It'll give you so much potential, so much range, so many choices every day. Let's go with either the theme of honesty, being honest with yourself, or the theme of health. If you took on those themes, just one of those for the year, what could come to fruition? And your answer should probably sound something like fucking anything, Tom. Because they're two incredible high quality themes, which means they're very quality based. They can take you a long way. And it's not to judge, but if you set yourself the goal of I'm not drinking for 24 hours, great. And I love that goal. If that's where you're at, that's fantastic. Then what? And then what? You're going to have to set 365 goals every day, which is how a lot of people approach alcohol reduction. Just stay sober one more day. Just stay sober one more day. Set yourself an incredible theme and learn to own and live in that theme, and anything will become possible for you. I can rewind my life, and when someone ever asks me like, Tom, what's led to the success that you have created? I'll generally share with them, I've set a theme every year for 10 years, and my whole life has completely changed. My whole life in regards to getting out of my own way, in regards to overcoming addictive behaviors, in regards to creating incredibly amazing and cultivating beautiful relationships with all of the people in my life, not just the ones that I thought I was able to create beautiful relationships. Even the people that I thought were really difficult, I've created and cultivated great relationships. I'm talking 98 to 99% of the people in my life, we have beautiful, authentic relationships. The theme of business. I now know how to run and run a company and start a business. If I wanted to start another business tomorrow, which I, funnily enough, am about to start another kind of business. I know how to do that now. And now I'm so grateful because I've been looking after this theme of health, which is something I've wanted to do for ages. And I finally feel vigorous and physically strong again for the first time since I was younger, which is fantastic. Another theme that I'm walking into with a new financial advisor and planner this year. I'm just about to sign some paperwork to start working with them. Coming off the back of my health theme is finances, which is really looking into that even to more depth than I ever have before. So there's so many themes, and you just grab a category of your life that you know needs work, and you go, cool, this is the thing that I'm going to work on. I'm going to focus and work on this for 12 months. And you practice delayed gratification, and you practice patience, and you don't look for short, sharp, overnight success stories. And you give yourself a 12-month window, and you'll look back in 12 months, and whether you hit your specific goal or not, you'll realize it doesn't matter because look how fucking far I've come. And that's our approach at Drink Less, Feel Fresh. Whether your relationship whether your alcohol intake is declining or not, we want you to look back every 6 to 12 months and go, look, I've still got work to do with that alcohol stuff, kind of, but fuck, I've come so far. The thing that we don't do that I fucking hate is when someone can work on their relationship with alcohol for 6 to 12 months. And because their alcohol intake is kind of the same, they think, I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't achieved it. I'm still stuck. What a waste of a fucking year. People that work with us at Drink Less Feel Fresh notice that they increase the quality of their life and their alcohol reduction comes second. That's the way it should be. You increase the quality of your life and your alcohol reduction starts to fall into place, not the other way around, which is I've got to stop drinking and then increase the quality of my life. It doesn't work that way. Set themes this year. Set yourself a theme this year. Give yourself 6 to 12 month window to crush it and experience it and notice how much you grow. And if you can start doing this, trust me, your relationship with alcohol will fall into line quicker than you ever effing thought possible. Here's to drinking less and feeling fresh. I trust you absolutely love that call on why theme setting can absolutely destroy and crush goals any day of the week. Here's to an incredible 2024. Trust you loved this episode. You can show up live to these classes every Monday, 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time at the moment, which is Sydney, New South Wales, Australia time. Head to drinklessfeelfresh.com. You can register to show up live. Otherwise, if you're listening to this on Spotify or watching on YouTube, thanks for rocking out with me. I've loved being here with you, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.